It has been a long, long time in the making. New stars have been born, while older stars have died. As a species, we've traveled over 600 million miles through the heavens together. And worst of all, in the past 14 months, many of us have gained a few pounds. But it's finally here. The first new Jackery product in over 400 days. The new Jackery 2000 Pro. But was it worth the wait? Let's find out.
HOBOTECH.
This new Jackery sports a 2100 60 watt-hour NMC lithium-ion battery rated at 1000 cycles to 80% capacity. This means you can do a full charge and discharge cycle every single day for 3 years straight and still have 80% of the battery life left. It doesn't mean it becomes a boat anchor. As for size and weight, we'll go ahead and put that at the bottom of the screen, and you can see here how much it weighed on my scale. As for build quality, this is all ABS plastic all the way around. It does have the usual Jackery rubberized feet, but for the first time ever, Jackery is giving us a folding handle. As for the display, it is a high quality color TFT display, very similar to the one that Jackery uses in the 1500. It shows input and output watts, time to charge discharge, battery percentage with a little spinny icon, as well as various other indicators. As for the inverter, the Pro sports a whopping 2200 watt pure sine inverter with 3 20 amp outlets. As for ways to charge, there are 3. This being the largest Jackery made to date, it does actually in the back have a built-in AC wall charger, so no more external brick. All you need is a very common cable that you can buy just about anywhere, and I know this one's orange and Jackery branded, but these are easily replaceable. So the charger built into the Jackery is 1800 watts. And at 1800 watts, that means the Jackery can charge from 0 to full in just under 90 minutes. That is a record for any Jackery product. Now, second method is from 12 or 24 volts using the included vehicle adapter. So you can just plug this into your cigarette lighter and the other end into the Jackery, and you can charge from dead to full in about 24 hours. But if you get a second one of these cables, since there are 2 inputs on the back, you can cut that number in half. So this is one of the first Jackeries you can buy that has dual 12 volt charging that allows you to charge it faster while you're driving. And final method, of course, is going to be through solar. Otherwise, we couldn't call it a solar generator. So that is also on the back. So on the back, you have 2 what are called 80/20 ports. So these are 8mm inputs. There's a pair of them for 2 separate MPPT controllers. Each MPPT controller can take 700 watts, or when combined, a maximum of 1200 watts of solar charging. This also is a new record for Jackery. Because at 1200 watts, assuming perfect sky conditions and enough solar panels, you can charge this thing in under 2 hours. Now this is obviously designed to work out of the box with 6 200 watt Jackery solar panels, because they include these stupid little boxes so that you can hook up 6 solar panels. See, it comes with 2 on there, and then you can open this up for 3. Why didn't they just leave it 3 in the first place? But yeah, more of these little plastic box things for these 80/20 ports that everybody hates. But it allows you to charge with a lot of solar, and that is new for Jackery. As for 12 volt output types, Jackery just has a single 12 volt cigarette lighter socket, good for 10 amps. It is regulated at 13.4 volts. As for USB outputs, this is also a new first for Jackery. Their flagship 2000 Pro now offers dual 100 watt power delivery ports alongside a pair of 18 watt USB-A quick charge ports. As for other features built in, this Jackery does have an optional low power mode that'll turn off the device after 12 hours under certain load conditions. As for the warranty on the 2000 Pro, Jackery offers its standard 2-year manufacturer's warranty. I do believe that is extendable to 3 years if you register the product on their website. And of course, we took the new Jackery 2000 Pro into my secret laboratory where we performed all kinds of crazy experiments on it, including, yes, let's all do it together now, a double-fisted bang, bang, battery capacity test. As for the results of the DC battery capacity test, it scored 1,733 watt-hours out of 2160, or a very respectable 80%. As for the results of the AC battery capacity test, it scored a much improved 87%, which is actually above average for the industry. Note that the DC consumption is higher on this device because of the regulated output circuitry and much longer discharge time of this test, which takes over 18 hours. Pure sine wave check under load. I have a heater on the floor running at 800 watts. Let's see how the sine wave looks. Perfectly clean at 120 volts, 60 hertz. By the way, that's great to see Jackery's inverters outputting 120 volts. Not 110, not 115, 120 like it should be. That means that even under voltage sag conditions, when this is at max power, it should still provide at least 110 volts. So we'll go ahead and check that next. Okay, we're now running 2200 watts, which is the rated capacity of this inverter. Let's see what the sine wave looks like. Amazingly, it is still 120 volts, 60 hertz. So already right out of the gate, the Jackery is impressive. This next test is the inverter capacity test, where we measure to see how hard can we push the Jackery. And you know what that means. Dun, dun, dun! That's right. Solar Degenerator time. So of course you can watch the wattage right here as I turn up the power. 23, 24, 25, 28, 29. We reached 30. That's it, 3,000. I don't have anything else to throw at it. Let's see how long it'll keep going at 3,000. Probably not very long. That actually ran for quite a long time at 3,000 watts. That's very impressive. This next test is the sustained cooling or heat soak test, where I'll run this at 2200 watts, its rated capacity, for at least 5 minutes to make sure that it doesn't overheat, overload, start smoking, doing drugs, anything bad like that. So I've already got it set up for 2200 watts. Let's kick on the inverter and start the timer. Okay, there you have it. No problem at all for the Jackery to run just over 2200 watts for 5 minutes, no problem. That's no big surprise. They had more than a year to work out any issues with this product, so I'm not surprised it's performing so well. Let's try cranking that power up to 2500 watts and see how long it runs. There we are, 2500 watts. Stopwatch is started. Let's see how long it'll run. Oh, and there we go. So at 2500 watts, it only runs about 30 seconds. So that's within the surge parameters of the inverter. Inverter fan noise. Now this is tricky. Jackery has this thing designed so instantly as the load increases, the fan speed increases. So it's not like I can just run a heater on the floor for a couple minutes, shut it off, and then have 30 seconds to listen to the fan. As soon as I shut the heater off, the fan stops. As soon as I turn the heater on, the fan starts. And I only found one other exception, and that's if I have the heater up on max and I turn it on for a split second, the inverter fans will kick on maximum speed for like a second. So I have 1 second. So it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like it hits about 52 decibels. It's somewhere between 48 and 52. It's really hard to catch because that kicks on and then the fan on the heater kicks on. It's very quiet. The inverter fan on the Jackery is very quiet. Even on its maximum speed, it's not very loud at all. Now, Jackeries have never been loud products. They've always been very well designed. Their cooling has always been very good. This one's really top notch. This is the best I've seen Jackery do to date with the inverter and the fan noise It's very good. I could see they put a lot of time into this product. Max charge rate test. This is where we push as much power as we possibly can into the Jackery and see what kind of solar support does it have. The solar charge is 17.5 to 73 volts, 21 amps, 1200 watt maximum. So let's go ahead and spin the Jackery around to the back, and this is where the inputs are. This is different from any other Jackery. All other Jackeries since the beginning of mankind has always had all their stuff up on front. Well, not this Jackery. This Jackery has a built-in charger, unlike Jackeries of the past. So it does have an AC input port, and then it has two 8mm DC inputs. So this is not the standard 7.9mm one. This is actually the 8mm one that has a bigger pin in the middle. So a standard adapter, such as the one that's on this cable, like you can buy these cables, adapter, extension cables all day long. This is what is used for everybody else, is everyone does a 7909, or they call it an 8mm input. But Jackery does this. You have to get this adapter, and you can get these adapters on my website, hobotech.tv/Amazon. It converts the thin pin of the 7.9 and makes it the thick pin required for the Jackery 8mm. Because of course they don't want you using your own solar panels, they don't want you using third-party panels, they want you to use the Jackery panels. So I need to run the adapter to run my charger to find out exactly what this can do. Now this charger is pushing out 50 volts, and it can do 37.5 amps. So this is an 1800 watt charger. It can max this out all day long. So, okay, this says we're pushing 18 amps. So it's probably because there's a limitation on how many amps you can put per input. And I only got one input hooked up. I don't think I have a way to hook up two inputs. So let me see if I can figure something out here.
2,000 years later.
Okay, fast forward an hour and a half and a mac and cheese later. What I had to do was I couldn't find another thick to thin pin adapter. I have one somewhere, but I just can't find it. So what I decided to do was to tear apart one of Jackery's parallel adapters. Now they call this a parallel adapter, but I had my suspicions it was serial. So I took the board out. I just used my meter and I was able to tell. I just looked at it and I knew it was a series adapter, not a parallel adapter. So these little boxes you get from Jackery actually put your solar panels in series. I spliced to put some connectors on the end, and it allowed me to hook up two of my chargers at the same time. I haven't had to go through this kind of fiasco just to charge a solar generator in quite a long time. So I have a 1200 watt charger and an 1800 watt charger. Both of them are outputting about 50 volts each, which is well within the specs of the Jackery. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn the chargers on both at the same time and watch the input. So again, the book says 1200 watts. The back of the Jackery says 1400 watts. Now, the only difference is the amps. Which one is it, 1200 or 1400? Place your bets. I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch. So you have your answer. 1200 watts is the true solar maximum input for the Jackery 2000 Pro. So what's actually going on here is I'm emulating two solar panels in series on each input, because each one of these chargers are putting out somewhere between 48 and 50 volts each. The Jackery does support up to 73 volts on the input, but unfortunately I can't test this right now because I blew up my other variable voltage charger. Now what about the charging noise? What kind of noise does this make while you're pumping 1200 watts into it? Well, my chargers are louder than this, so I can't actually test it, because as soon as I shut the chargers off, the fan stopped running, like a second later. But I can tell you it's actually quieter charging than it is discharging. And discharging, we already found that it was in the upper 40 decibel range, which is very good. This thing is quiet. So what about simultaneous charging? The Jackery 2000 Pro does have both an AC and a pair of DC inputs. Can we use them both at the same time? Well, right now I have it plugged into the wall using its AC wall charging cable, and it's now charging at 1500 watts, which is amazing for a Jackery to charge at 1500 watts. I am going to tell you, it is noisy at this rate, so let's go ahead and do a decibel test. So 56, 57 decibels, so it's significantly louder when you're charging it from the wall. It's a lot quieter when you charge it from solar, and that makes sense because right now it's running a big charging block inside the Jackery. Okay, it's currently charging at 1500 watts from the wall. Let's go ahead and kick on the simulated solar. So as you can see here, it says solar and AC power, but it's only charging at 1500 watts. Let me go ahead and turn off the simulated solar. You should probably see the solar disappears. The Jackery gets confused. Now it's back up to 1500 watts again. So let's go ahead and turn on the simulated solar. You see the little solar panel come on. It drops down for a moment, goes back up to 1500 watts of charging. But it is not combining the two together. Does the Jackery 2000 Pro support pass-through charging? It absolutely does. In fact, I have it charging from the wall right now. You can probably just barely see it's pulling 1555 watts. It's charging at 1530 watts. And you can see the 12 volt here is regulated at 13.3 volts. So it's outputting DC, it's outputting USB. And if I turn on the AC inverter, it's now running the heater on the floor. So it's charging, running the heater on the floor, and doing USB and 12 volt all at the same time. Now here's something very interesting and unexpected because it's not mentioned anywhere in the manual. This Jackery 2000 Pro has a built-in UPS relay. Yes, you heard it here first. The Jackery 2000 Pro is a UPS, meaning uninterruptible power supply. You can leave this plugged into the wall all the time, plug computers or whatever other sensitive equipment you want into these outputs, and as long as the inverter's on, and as long as the battery has charge, when the power goes out, it'll automatically power your loads. Watch. I just turned off the charging and it's still running the heater on the floor. Now, let's see how fast of a switchover it is. Okay, you guys seen this test many times before on different reviews. So right now it's running. You can see the little red light is on. You're gonna wanna watch this red light as I turn on and off AC wall power. This is going to simulate a blackout. So right now it's running entirely off the internal battery. Let's go ahead and put the power on. Watch the red light. It didn't flicker at all, which is not supposed to. It's supposed to continue running from the battery until there's enough significant voltage coming in, power coming in, to switch the relay. You can hear a click. That click is the relay inside doing this job of switching back and forth. So let's go ahead and turn off power from the wall. Let's simulate a blackout, okay? You live in California, where the power goes out every day. So we're gonna simulate 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of summer when you need your air conditioner. All right, watch the light. 3, 2, 1. So that means the Jackery has a pretty good UPS system built into it. Now this is the first retail, widely available Jackery ever made that has a UPS built into it, and it's about time. All right, so DC output rate check, we're actually gonna test to see how much we can pull from the cigarette lighter. It is rated at 10 amps, and we're able to pull 10 amps pretty easily. USB output check. Now, this new Jackery 2000 Pro has 2 100-watt USB power delivery ports on it, which I give a double thumbs up. That is state-of-the-art for Jackery. Now, let's check and make sure that both of these outputs can output 100 watts. So up here, I have 2 100-watt power bends, so it should have no problem at all accepting everything that the Jackery can give it. So let's go ahead and turn on the USB. We quickly are ramping up to 200 watts. And then up here on each one of these, it says 92 and 92. There's always a couple watts of loss. So this is passed with flying colors. Now, Jackery also does supply 2 18-watt quick charge ports. So we can test those real quick just by plugging my phone in, because my phone quick charges. So when I plug my phone, and if you hear a ding, that means it's quick charging, because if it slow charges, it doesn't make any noise. Bing. So there we go. Turbo power connected. So it means it is definitely an 18-watt quick charge port. So thumbs up, Jackery. I am so glad to see you finally ditch those old dinosaur USB ports and put some real power delivery in this model. This is a major, major upgrade for Jackery. The musician's favorite, the amp interference test. This is where we plug in an audio amplifier into the Jackery's inverter. See how noisy it is. If Jackery fails this test, I'm going to be really upset, because Jackery's have some of the best inverters on the market. but you never know. I haven't tried this yet myself. I'm about to find out for the first time because once I power this amp up, it doesn't make the pop anymore. Oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. So it sounds like it's actually noisy, but it doesn't sound like a noise that I'm used to. Let me move some things around and make sure there's no other interference in this room. Now this kind of interference actually sounds like a motor or something running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn the power off to this entire room and see, does this still make noise? Yep, it sure does. I've moved the amp over here away from the wall. I moved the cable away from stuff. It's just not going to pass this test as much as I want it to. So, sorry, Jackery. This is one thing you still got to fix. Although this doesn't mean that if you have an amplifier or a radio, ham radio, or whatever, you can't use a Jackery. You just have to make note you're probably going to get some interference through the output. And that's it for the Jackery. Or is it? There's actually a hidden feature that I almost missed because it's hidden. Can you figure out what it is? What haven't we covered yet? There's something underneath here that we never looked at. Take a guess, put it in the comments. That's right. Now, I'm not really sure why Jackery thought it was a good idea to put a rubber cover over a flashlight, which is obviously sealed. Besides, I think they just want to make it symmetrical so it looks the same on both sides. So I peeled this off expecting USB ports or something, and I was like, there's a flashlight. So you know what that means, right? Let's go ahead and test it. Let's just make sure. Maybe this one doesn't have it, but let's find out. Okay, there's low, high, cue the music. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Gotta flag down our little buddies upstairs. Woohoo! So there you have it. There's the final feature of the Jackery that we covered. So what do I like about this new Jackery? Well, I really like the fact that Jackery has finally listened and has decided to meet the rest of us in 2022. Amen to that. Dual 100-watt power delivery, actual quick charge ports, a real inverter able to power real appliances, pretty much practically anything you can plug into the wall, a built-in 90-minute quick charger, even if it does cost the Jackery a little bit of weight, and 1200 watts of built-in solar charging that actually rivals EcoFlow's flagship product at twice the price. Oh, and let's not forget, that's a feature that's been in the Japanese market for several years, finally brought it to the United States. This is the Jackery everyone wanted in 2020. Better late than never, I say. Jackery finally has a competitive product, and it's nice. Real nice.
Well, nice. Real nice.
This isn't some clunky, unpronounceable off-brand that has a dozen carbon copies out there on the market. Jackery invests real money into their unique designs, and I think it's finally paid off. So what don't I like about this new Jackery? Now, I already know the #1 public gripe, and the keyboard warriors are stomping on their keyboards right now, typing this very thing.
NMC batteries? What kind of crap is that? Only a 1,000-cycle battery? I can use that up in 2 weeks, and then it becomes a boat anchor for my super yacht. NMC batteries are crap. I'm an official member of the LFP Master Race, and we vowed to never buy anything but lithium iron phosphate forever and effing ever. You suck, and so does Jackassery.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Jackery has yet to take the plunge onto the lithium iron phosphate boat. While I do personally agree that they should have some LFP products out by now, there's still a strong case for them continuing to use NMC. This 2100 watt-hour Jackery with built-in fast charger weighs only 42 pounds, okay? And it's in a box barely more than a foot across. If they made this out of lithium iron phosphate, it would weigh over 55 pounds, probably closer to 60, and it'd be in the box twice this size, or about the size of the Bluetti AC200P, which has very similar stats to this, except it's lithium iron phosphate. Now that we got that over with, is there anything I personally dislike about the Jackery? Yes, I'm kind of upset that it did fail the amp interference test. It really should have passed that. I also hate the 80/20 inputs on the back. Jackery uses these on purpose because they want you to very badly use their solar panels and only their solar panels. That's bullpucky, and in my mind, that's the last major hang-up that the masters at Jackery need to get over. Listen, guys, you're not Apple, okay? Even Apple can barely get away with selling a $200 proprietary cable today to their customers. When can we stop using these wonky, unreliable, not weather resistant, impossible to find connectors for your solar panels? Just be like everyone else and use MC4 or Anderson connectors. Then we don't even need to use these silly little plastic boxes to hook your solar panels up. Because you know what? HOBOTECH viewers are smart. They know they can go to hobotech.tv/Amazon down to the solar adapter section and get adapters that will allow them to use any solar panel in the world they like with their new Jackery 2000 Pro. Just letting you know, we're on to you, and we hope next year's new product ditches these 80/20 connectors because they suck. Okay, product price. That's what everyone wants to know. How much is this going to cost? Well, unfortunately, even though this video was edited literally about 8 hours before launch, the retail price is still a deep, dark secret. So I can't tell you what the price is in this video. You'll just have to wait till their big release party, which happens at 8 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday, March 12th, which is today when I release this video. Or just wait till about 8:30 p.m. Pacific, click the link in the description below, and it'll take you right to the page where you can buy one and you can find out the price then. There is one secret I can give away, and that is you will save 10% on this product by clicking the link below in the description and using my code HOBOTECH. You put that code in at checkout, it knocks 10% off of this new product. Now, this discount only works on Jackery's web store. Don't try to use this discount anywhere else. Also, for a limited time, that code HOBOTECH will knock 10% off of everything that Jackery sells in regards to solar generators and solar panels. So if you're looking for something smaller, or if you want to stack up on some of those 200-watt solar panels, you can use that code HOBOTECH, and it's 10% off the top of everything. I'll mention this one last time. This product does not go on sale until 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. So if you click the link below and it takes you to their main site instead of the product page, it means it's not out yet. I decided to go ahead and release this video a little bit early to give all you guys a chance to watch it and make up your mind. Do you want to get one? And if you do, it gives you the chance to go ahead and snipe one the minute they go on sale at 8:30 p.m. because let me tell you a little secret. Every single launch in the past 4 years of a new product at Jackery's website has sold out within hours. So if you're interested in the new Jackery, all you have to do is click the link below in the description. I'll also put a link here at the bottom of the screen with a QR code that you can scan with any mobile device. It'll take you directly to Jackery's website where you can pick one of these up. Don't forget to use that discount code HOBOTECH to take 10% off. Thanks for watching. If you learned something today, don't forget to give me that thumbs up below. And if you're not a subscriber already, you know what to do. That's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe. And clean my litter box. RV Golf Guy, Andrew Von Rupp, Brian Lubers, John Jason Soroka, Dr. Steve Eisenberg.